Hey, Joe here, and I want to finish our talk that we had about ranges last week. I went over it briefly. I'm going to go over a little bit more detail today, but we went over these ranges, and a lot of them got butthurt, and I got a lot of flack for it. And guess what? I really don't care. My job here is to help inform you how to make the best decision for choosing a range. Now, I'm not going to badmouth any ranges around here, but I want you to go check them out for yourself and find one that fits your needs the best. Again, I'm not worried about driving an extra 15, 20 minutes to find a better range. My key is safety. I want to exit that range with as many holes that I entered with. That's in my body. So let's break it down. Remember, at the range too, I tell everybody in our classes, it's not myself or you that I'm worried about. It's the idiot standing next to you. So first thing I'm going to look for when I walk into a range, yes, I want a nice, friendly staff. I want a knowledgeable staff. Somebody that's going to help me out, show me where things are at, and let me look around the place. So that's key. I don't want to go to a place where it's a grouchy old guy behind the counter that's pissed off at you for walking in a door and interrupting his nap or watching whatever he was watching on TV. So then I'm going to be looking for safety. I am looking for a well-lit range so I can actually see what's going on around me for several reasons. I can see what the other people are doing around me, and you drop something, whatever it's going to be, you can see it. You're not going to trip over somebody else's stuff or anything like that. So I want plenty of room in the range. I don't want to be cramped in. I don't want this little space where they can really only fit, let's say, 4 lanes, 5 lanes, and now they're putting in 8 lanes. So I'm a big guy. I don't want my shoulders touching both sides of the alleged ballistic walls between us. And let's face it, folks, most of those walls are not ballistic. It's either plywood or drywall. But I don't want people bumping into me as they're walking by or the person next to me. Myself, if you bump into me, I think I can handle it pretty well. Person next to me, who knows? Then I end up with a hole in my leg. That's not what I'm looking for. Clean. Did I mention clean yet? Can't remember. I don't think I did. Clean, folks. I want a clean range. I want everything clean. But I want a clean range. I don't want something clutter and dirt and spilt drinks and all that stuff all over the place. The range owners should take pride in their property. Clean the stuff up. The last thing I'll do is go in there, put my range bag down. It's stuck on somebody's soda, soft drink, Slurpee, whatever else they had in there. It's just disgusting. So another key thing I'm looking for is a range safety officer or officers. If there is not a range safety officer at that range, and there's anybody else but myself in there, I'm leaving. Now, I am a range safety officer, chief range safety officers. I can train them. I haven't done it in a while. But, folks, I want somebody at that range watching all the people around me. I know that sounds kind of selfish. Yes, watch me, but I trust myself. I want them watching the idiot next to me. So I want to make sure they're not pointing a gun in any different direction, which some instructors are teaching around here. It really, I can't even say words that I won't get banned from even these podcasts on. But listen, folks, you always keep your gun pointed in a safe direction. That is going to be downrange towards your targets. Nowhere else. Not up in the sky, not down at the floor, not to your left or your right. And whoever these instructors are that tell people to rack their gun, if they're right-handed, they're going to point their gun to the left, rack it, then go back on their target. I got 2 words for you I can sum up with one finger. Folks, that's how people get shot. That's how people get killed. So don't do that. That's why I want a range safety officer there. If they see somebody doing it, if they see somebody mishandling the firearm in any way, trying to get a round out of the back of their shirt using their firearm, not a safe thing to do, folks. There's a lot of proof on that one. Folks, turning around, loading their gun in different places where they're not supposed to. I mean, there's just always keep your gun pointed down range, but anytime I go to a range, I see people that have these guns pointed everywhere. If I can see it, it should be stopped by the range safety officer. If it's not being stopped, that means they don't have a range safety officer. Go find yourself a new range. That simple. And I don't trust these ranges that they have their salespeople. That's also known as the range safety officer. And while he's not helping somebody on the sales floor, not answering the phone or doing anything else sales related, they might look at the monitor behind them. That's a little tiny 9-inch black and white monitor. No, I want somebody that's actually physically going in that range, checking things out. If they got the big glass wall there, I'm not really okay with that, but I can agree with that if somebody's always watching. What I mean by that is behind the counter, you see everybody shooting because they got the glass ballistic wall. You can watch everything. And then at least if they see somebody doing something wrong, they can go in there right away or make an announcement over the intercom system. But I'd still rather have a person inside that range watching. That's going to stop a lot of accidents. Check out the people that are going there. Look at the customer clientele. Look at the people that are shooting. See what kind of people they are. You can get a lot from that, seeing who goes there, if they're knowledgeable at all. Nobody's watching them. They have no training. Again, they got guns pointed all over the place. Not my place to go. You could see many things out there. I mean, again, everybody says, let's do a Google search or a Yelp search. Yeah, do a Google search. Search range accidents, range shooting, range deaths, and check it out that way. You'll probably be surprised on what you see out there. Now, I'm not a big fan of ranges that rent firearms. I know why they're doing it. They're doing it to make $1. I agree with them on that. But what I disagree is that they cannot run a background check on that person. The ATF does not allow it. The state will not allow it. I just find that ridiculous. I think this is something that needs to change with our system. And the reason being, there's a lot of people that have mental health issues that may have been Baker acted or something along those lines. And they go in there and rent a firearm for the purpose of committing suicide. Now, I know it's the person renting the gun. It's them doing that. They've made up their mind. It happens. It's sad, but it happens. But with that being said, why are you giving them the tools to do it? Why is the state letting them allow them, and the feds, allow them to rent a gun to a person that's going to go commit suicide? Now, I don't really blame the range. Yes, and I do. I do and I don't blame the range on that because it's not their fault. They can't run the background check. They're trying to make money. Hey, listen, it's tough right now making money. It's a struggle. I get it. But just because a person has a concealed weapons license does not mean that they can actually possess a firearm. They could become a felon. They could be Baker acted. That would instantly lose their rights to purchase or possess a firearm, but they can still have a concealed weapons license. And folks, you got to watch out with that with the private sales as well. But again, I don't know how to. Let me know how you think this should be fixed. I mean, the only way I think it should be fixed is the ATF allows us to do a 4473 anytime you go to rent a firearm. And put the little checkbox in there. This is just for a short-term rental of a firearm. You run the background check, you get approved. Then you know that range did their due diligence, the best that they could do, to make sure that this person that's renting a gun can possess it and go have fun with it. Go shoot. That's it. I mean, besides that, renting a gun, why don't you just go buy one if you're going to be into it? I understand certain people want to try the gun out before they buy it. There's a lot of variables of that, but no, I disagree with that. So if I see a place that's renting guns and they just give it to anybody, no, I'm walking out. You don't know how many times I've gone to a range and the person says, well, I've never shot before, and the person there rents them a gun for $25. They buy a box of ammo, and they're going to go out in the range, have no clue what they're doing. And I'm going to stand next to them with a loaded firearm? Not going to happen, folks. So I just disagree with that whole setup, and I believe most of the ranges do rent guns, so that's why I stay at my private range or just go to the outdoor ranges. Most outdoor ranges that I know of do not rent any firearms. Now, speaking of outdoor ranges, I like going to them because it's less noisy. You don't have all that echo going on from shooting in a little shoebox, but also it's fresh air, pretty much clean air. Well, hopefully it's fresh. I've shot next to some people. It wasn't so fresh. But I want a range that has a HEPA filtration system. Even our little private training range that we have here has a HEPA filtration system. And yes, it's a little annoying sometimes because it sucks all that nice cold air conditioner air out so quick, it gets warm a little faster. But it still stays in the 70s. Folks, there's not many ranges that have these HEPA filtration systems because, A, they're very expensive to purchase. The initial purchase of it and installation is crazy expensive, hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And then to maintain them throughout the year is another ridiculous bill. You're looking at $30,000 plus. That's just for a small unit to maintain it for a year. But you know what? They're making enough money at the range. They should be doing that. I don't want to go to a range And then when I walk out 10 minutes later and I go to blow my nose or sneeze and all this black stuff comes out, it's not good for you. You're not supposed to eat the lead paint chips. You shouldn't be breathing all that lead and all the other crap that's in the air in there. So, sorry, had to take a drink. I would definitely look to see if they have a HEPA filtration system and they're actually using it. And with that, air conditioning. We live down here in Florida. The last thing I want to do is go into an air conditioning. It's 90-some degrees outside. You walk inside, and it's 109. There's one range I know of. They have one tiny little unit for the whole entire store in the range, and they turn off the range, all the vents to the range so they can keep the AC in the store for the employees. That's fine. Shut down your range then. It gets too hot in there. Last thing again, I want somebody's passing out, but it's not enjoyable to me shooting when you're just covered in sweat. If I'm going to do that, you're going to pay me again. Again, do your Google search. Find out where the ranges are in the area. Again, you can read reviews. I am not a fan of reviews. We can get into them, but I'll talk about it now. Do you know how many fake reviews there are out there? Both sides. How many anti-gun people out there are writing reviews about gun shops, gun ranges, all that stuff, and just negative things that make no sense. And if you really read them, you can say, well, that person's never been there. Try to get these social media things to take that off and everything else. It's next to impossible. So you might have one of the best ranges or gun shops in the world that's getting negative reviews. And it's just from an anti-gun idiot that wants to just try to hurt that business. Well, I think people are smarter than that, and they're going to figure it out. So Yelp, don't believe anything they say. So, again, I would just Google, find the ranges that are in your area. Check out some of the reviews, see what they say. Check out some of the photographs. It might save you some time right there with the photographs. And then actually go visit these ranges and look for that safety, the range safety officer. Look who's going to be there. Look at the staff. Talk to them for a little bit. Again, look at the range safety officers. Keyword there, range safety officer. And then go from there, folks. Listen, I want you out there practicing. I want you out there training. If you have any questions, comments, or want to know about something, give me a shout. Once we get into this little podcast a little bit more, we will have some more guests on here, and we'll go from there. Folks, have a great day. I will talk to you soon.